The league has openly said they will not lock out the players. They're not going to be the ones who pull the trigger. They're not going to be the ones who cancel games. They're placing the gun directly in the players' hands and saying, "Go ahead, do it. We'll wait." That's not negotiation. That's psychological warfare. And if you think the players are holding all the cards right now, I need you to pay very close attention to what I'm about to break down. Because the situation is far more dangerous than most people realize. January 9th, the deadline, the moment everything was supposed to come together. The WNBA's collective bargaining agreement officially expired at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. And guess what happened? Nothing, no deal, no agreement, no handshake, no breakthrough, just silence. The players' union and the league are so far apart right now, it's almost laughable. Except nobody's laughing because what happens next could determine whether this league thrives or implodes under the weight of its own momentum. Let me set the stage for you. On one side you got the players. And look, I get it. These women have been fighting for respect, fighting for fair pay, fighting for recognition for decades. They've watched the league grow. They've watched viewership explode. They've watched Caitlin Clark become a household name and bring more eyeballs to the WNBA than ever before. And now they want their piece of the pie. Fair enough, right? But here's where it gets complicated. On the other side you got the owners. And these aren't just random business people. We're talking about NBA owners. The same people who've navigated billion-dollar negotiations, player strikes, lockouts, and media firestorms. They've seen it all. They've survived it all. And they know exactly how to play this game. Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, has been lurking in the background. And I'll be honest with you, I never thought I'd say this, but the man is playing this situation brilliantly. He's recognized something that the players might not fully understand yet. Public perception is shifting. See, for years the narrative was simple. WNBA players are underpaid. WNBA players deserve more. Support women's sports. And honestly, that narrative had power. It moved the needle. It got sponsors. It got attention. But now people are doing the math. They're seeing the offers the league has put on the table. They're seeing the raises being proposed and they're sitting back with their arms crossed saying, "Wait a minute. You don't want that." Because here's the reality that's starting to break through the noise. The league has reportedly offered to raise the average player's salary from around $249,000 to nearly $780,000. And by the end of the new deal, we're talking salaries approaching $2 million for top players. That's not a small bump. That's a transformation. And when you factor in the outside opportunities, unrivaled Project B, overseas leagues, endorsements, an average WNBA player right now could realistically be pulling in $1.5 million a year. The stars were talking $4, $5, even $6 million when you combine everything. And the league, it's never turned a profit, not once. So, when the owners look at the situation, they're thinking, we've offered you 9 times what you were making. We've put historic money on the table. We've given you more than we've ever given anyone in the history of this league. And you want more? That's the tension bubbling beneath the surface. Because here's the thing about negotiations. They're not just about what's fair. They're about leverage. They're about perception. They're about who blinks first. And right now, the WNBA owners are sending a very clear message. They're not going to blink. The decision to refuse a lockout is strategic genius. Think about it. If the league locks out the players, suddenly the owners become the villains. They're the ones who stop the games. They're the ones who put money over the sport. But by stepping back and saying, we're open for business. We're ready to play. The doors are open when everyone will walk through them. They flip the script entirely. Now if games get canceled, it's on the players. If the season is delayed, it's on the players. If fans don't get to watch Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Wilson, and the rest of these superstars compete this summer, the players will take the heat. And the owners know it. This is a high-stakes game of chicken. And right now, the league is accelerating toward the players with both hands off the wheel. The question is, who's going to swerve first? Now here's where things get really interesting. Because while the owners are playing the long game, the players have already made their move. And it's a move that could either be their greatest weapon or their biggest mistake. On December 18th, the WNBA Players Association made an announcement that sent shock waves through the sports world. The players voted, and they voted overwhelmingly to authorize a strike. Let me repeat that. The players have given themselves the legal authority to walk off the court whenever they decide the time is right. They've loaded the gun. They've cocked the hammer. And they're holding it against the head of the entire 2025 season. Terry Carmichael Jackson, the executive director of the WNBPA, has been vocal. She's been pushing. She's been fighting. And from her perspective, the league isn't negotiating in good faith. We are still waiting on the league and teams to show up to these negotiations with the same spirit of compromise, she said. And honestly, you can feel the frustration in those words because from the players' point of view, this should be their moment. This should be the time when everything changes. The ratings are up. The attendance is climbing. The media rights deal just exploded to roughly $200 to $240 million a year. That is six-fold increase from the previous deal. 6 times the money flowing into the league. And the players are looking at that and saying, where's our cut? It's a valid question. It really is. But here's the problem. The league sees those numbers very differently because while the media rights money is coming in, the WNBA has never been profitable. We're talking about decades of losses, decades of the NBA subsidizing the league, decades of owners writing checks just to keep the lights on. And now finally there's light at the end of the tunnel. The league is on the verge of potentially breaking even, maybe even turning a small profit in the coming years. But that future is fragile and the owners are terrified of giving away the farm before the crops have even grown. This is where the revenue-sharing battle becomes absolutely critical. See, the players don't just want higher salaries. They want a percentage of the league's revenue. They want to be partners in the growth. They want to ensure that as the league makes more money, they automatically make more money. It's the same model the NBA uses and it makes sense in theory, but the WNBA owners are pushing back hard because guaranteeing a revenue split means guaranteeing a commitment. It means that even if the league is a bad year, even if sponsorships dry up, even if ratings dip, the players still get their percentage. That's risk. And the owners aren't ready to take that risk. Not yet. Not when a league is still finding its financial footing. So what we're watching right now isn't just a negotiation over numbers. It's a fundamental disagreement about the future of the league itself.